out of respect for you and your show, I've brought some facts. Would you... If you like, they're actually...
You just get the fuck out of here. This is not the place.
I thought you'd like facts.
We love facts. I love facts.
I wouldn't have mentioned it. I'm English, and you know that politeness is our fundamental religion.
Yeah.
But they do pertain to this issue, so may I say some of them?
Please,
if they inconvenience you, I'll stop saying them. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention, finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech vaccine. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis, where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elite.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Crow, and still talking about the Russell Brand thing, because I think it's important. And you know, when we started doing content on this channel and our previous one, a lot of it was talking about false accusations, how people were being wrongly canceled, how a lot of people are being dragged through the mud with little to no evidence to back up the claims that were being made against them, and how quickly people jumped onto the bandwagon to see these people get destroyed. Now, the Russell Brand situation is really unique, okay? And I say it's really unique because in a lot of the situations we used to cover, there would actually be some there. And by that I mean there would typically be something presented that, you know, usually was completely out of context, but could at least be used as a way to justify why people felt the way that they felt. In the Russell Brand situation, we don't have any of that. What we have are let me just list them out. We have anonymous stories from anonymous accusers who are firmly remaining in anonymity, so we can't verify who they are. We can't verify any information about them at all whatsoever. You then have claims being made in the article that the journalists have confirmed that one of the accusers had a ARP kit done around the time they claim that this situation happened with Russell Brand. You then have one text message. The text message is an image that has been heavily altered, either splicing two conversations together or entirely cutting out a segment of the conversation. And this conversation is about how when Russell Brand was having sex with them, Russell Brand did not wear a condom, and he was supposed to be wearing a condom, and Russell Brand is apologizing for not wearing one. The story that this is supposed to be confirming in the article is that the woman was held up against a wall and violated against her will. Arped, okay, guys? That she was arped, that she was held up against a wall and violently violated. That's what we've been presented, okay? There is no there. There's literally no there. There's nothing to confirm anything we are being presented with. But I gotta play this video for you, right? When people say that there's like a coordinated media attack against Russell Brand, it's because of shit like this. It's because within a day of the article dropping about Russell Brand, we have all of these hit pieces all dropping around the same time. We also have Russell Brand's talent agency dropping him, his book deal canceled, his Netflix shows being pulled, his appearances on various other things like Comedy Central and some other stuff have also all been canceled. His tour has been canceled. And so to many people looking at what's going on, they're like, hey, this looks like it's a coordinated hit job. Because I'm sorry, if it was like 2 or 3 things, you know, you could argue it's a coincidence. But when it's all of these things taking place over the course of 1 to 2 days, that looks like pre-planned coordination. Anyone who isn't being completely dishonest would at least have the ability to acknowledge that. Now, maybe it isn't, okay? Very small chance it isn't. But the fact that these people are not even willing to acknowledge what this looks like to anyone who isn't being completely dishonest tells you kind of everything you need to know. What I want to talk to you about in today's video, though, is Alice, the one accuser against Russell Brand, has come forward to the BBC, still not telling anyone who she actually is, but to complain about Russell Brand saying that the allegations against him are false and that it looks like a coordinated media hit job against him, which, again, it looks that way to most people. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe it's not true, okay? Maybe it's not true. It's just, holy fuck, it absolutely looks like it is. Russell Brand's response to allegations of armed sexual assault and emotional abuse has been insulting, one of his accusers has said, as she claimed that he sent a BBC car to bring her to him from the gates of her school when she was a 16-year-old pupil. Now, small problem. I talked about this before, and I'm really not okay with any relationship that a 16-year-old is engaging an adult in. Now, Europe is different from the United States. I'm from the United States. Most of the viewers are from the United States. United States laws on age of consent are varied because it's anywhere from 16 to 18. Some states are 16, some are 17, some are 18. Personally, I don't care if age of consent is 16. If you're like 30 fucking years old and you're hitting up with a teenager, yeah, man, that's disgusting to me. It would still be disgusting to me if age of consent is 16 and you're 31 and you're hitting up an 18-year-old. I mean, look, it's not illegal, but it's at least socially taboo. However, in the UK, it's not looked at the same way it is here in the United States. It isn't. Over there, a lot of people that are 16 and older, that's when they start moving out of their homes. They stop living with their parents. So it's definitely a different situation, but I'm not going to defend it. Like, I'm not okay with it. It's just, I also can acknowledge that it's not illegal. And it seems like the reason why this is being highlighted more than anything else is because the United States is going to drive a lot of this conversation. The US market is going to drive a lot of this conversation. So that's why we're being presented. That's why it's being presented to us this way. Because then they can throw in the claims of grooming, and nobody wants to defend a groomer. Right, guys? Right, guys? Alice, who spoke under a pseudonym to protect her anonymity, has told the Sunday Times that Brand started a relationship with her when she was a teenage schoolgirl. I love the way they said that, too. And he, a 31-year-old man with fame and influence. Since he was informed by reporters of those allegations and others made by several other women were to become public, Brand has denied them and sought to portray them as a part of a mainstream media attack on him. Well, again, like, we kind of saw the video here, right, guys? He has cast himself as an outsider and a threat to media interest in a video posted on his YouTube channel, in keeping with much of his recent content there and on his accounts of other social media outlets. I mean, well, again, Russell Brand has absolutely said things that nobody in mainstream media would ever tolerate saying because, again, like, you know, Pfizer, Moderna pay these companies a lot of money. Hours after the reports emerged on Saturday, he appeared on stage for a scheduled performance at Troubadour Wembley Park Theatre in London, thanking his audience for their applause and telling them, "There's some things I cannot talk about, and hopefully you appreciate that. I'm going to give you everything I've got." It's insulting, Alice told BBC Radio 4's Women's Hour on Monday, and it's laughable that he would even imply that this is some kind of mainstream media conspiracy. Well, I mean, I wonder why. He's not outside the mainstream. He did a Universal Pictures movie last year. He did Minions, a children's movie. I mean, look, I get that. I do, but that's only because Russell Brand is very popular. He actually has a really big profile with the public. He's been famous for many years. Russell Brand at one time was named like the sexiest man alive by some of these people. So again, it makes sense why he still gets attached for like minor voice acting roles in movies. But to say that he's a part of mainstream media, that is very dishonest because he's attacking the source of a lot of their funding. But also he's directly been attacking media outlets for their dishonesty, and they've been very dishonest. So he is very much part of the mainstream media. He just happens to have a YouTube channel where he talks about conspiracy theories to an audience that laps it up. I mean, look, this person, you can sort of tell where they line up ideologically. So it's like, well, there's a reason why people are questioning you and why they want to know who you are, so they can see, hey, do you have another reason for making these claims against Russell Brand that aren't completely honest? But we're not going to be given that. They're going to keep this person hidden. And until Russell Brand responds and maybe lets us know who this person is, I don't think we're ever actually going to know who Alice actually is. I don't think we're ever going to be able to verify anything about this woman. But based on this conversation, we kind of have a rough idea, right, of at least who they are ideologically. And it may sound cynical, but I do think that he was building himself an audience. Oh my God. Speaking of conspiracy theories, this sounds like a conspiracy. It doesn't sound cynical. It just sounds like a conspiracy theory and like a batshit fucking lunatic one. But I do think that he was building himself an audience for years of people that would then have great distrust of any publication that came forward with allegations. He knew it was coming for a long time. Russell Brand was a part of Occupy Wall Street. Russell Brand is very anti-establishment. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. And that was way before the Me Too movement. So I get what they are trying to imply here. But again, I would call it dishonest, but it could just be outright ignorance. Anyways, and then as for him denying that anything non-consensual happened, that's not a surprise to me. These men always deny any of the allegations brought to them. I knew he would. What he didn't deny was that he had a relationship with a 16-year-old. And we've already kind of talked about that at the beginning. I'm not okay with that, right? But it does not make him a groomer, and it doesn't make him an ARPist. We know this was in the UK. UK age of consent is 16. Is it inappropriate for a 31-year-old to have relationships with anyone that young? Absolutely. I'm not okay with it. Just like I'm not okay with Keemstar as a 40-year-old man having a relationship with a 20-year-old woman. Like, I'm not okay with that either. Do I think that Keemstar should be canceled? Do I think we should start calling him a groomer? Do I think we should start alleging that he's ARPing whatever that girl's name is? No. I'm a little bit put off by it. Okay? I'm a little bit put off by it. That's as best I can fucking say it. To then use that, though, to try to justify anonymous accusations with no evidence, to me, tells me everything I need to know about the entire scenario here. Alice added that Brand would send a card to collect her, and this is all part of the article, so there's really nothing new here. Anyways, guys, I don't know how you feel about this stuff. To me, I think it's very important, though, that we don't fall back on this bullshit of going, well, they said that they verified it, so I trust that they verified it, when we're presented with one altered text message from women who are 30 to 40 years old now, who are choosing to remain entirely anonymous. You know what? She says, I'm insulted that he would call it like, I'm insulted that you think I give a shit. Like, I really am. I'm insulted that anyone thinks that I should take seriously anyone who chooses to come forward with accusations while hiding behind a mask. I can't do it. I just can't do it. You know, if you're going to accuse someone of a serious fucking crime, of which all four of these women are alleging against him, but you're going to remain completely anonymous, you know, our justice system is based on the idea that you get to confront your accuser. That's not happening here, and we have a trial by media who is heavily biased in favor of seeing Russell Brand get destroyed. Because he not only attacks them, he attacks the people that fund and subsidize their entire industry. Anyways, guys, you let me know what you think in the comments section. I'm sure there'll be more stuff breaking about this as the days go by, but nothing new has come to the surface that has been able to substantiate anything being presented to us. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think we're going to get jack shit moving forward.